What is up, you guys? I hope you're doing well. So we're here for something a little different today. I didn't have time to do our cards and our usual reading and our message because I was out running around preparing for this huge winter storm that's hitting the southeast United States. And as fate would have it, the ribbon of pink that's supposed to be the worst, it's like 1 to 3 inches of ice that could take down like power lines and stuff and keep people out of power for potentially, a couple of weeks. It's like skimming through Tennessee. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm in Middle Tennessee. And yeah, it's Tennessee, the weather, it's like anybody's guess every 10 minutes, but it's always good to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So they're calling for ice and snow over the weekend. It's supposed to start I think Friday night and go just literally snow for 24 hours straight, just dumps on us. And I think we're going to get a foot or so of snow. But we've had situations in the past where there have been blackouts or power outages, and for the most part, people at least in Tennessee, are pretty hardy. They're ready to go out camping, so a lot of people are generally prepared to survive outdoors. But it is a different story when you have, when you're considering freezing weather. And so some of the stuff that I've been doing today, and then I had already started actually earlier this week, because something told me okay, there's so much up in the air in the whole world right now. And so from what I have learned watching, my friends in Palestine, how they have had to survive on the go, and what basic needs they have had to pull together out of their ass, essentially, in a country with nothing coming in, just to survive. And so minus a giant industrial tent, I have been trying to acquire basic survival things just in case, EMP, natural disaster, you name it. So these are some helpful things that I thought would be good to have in case of the freezing. Now, if you are in this area that's going to be hit, in the whole southeast region of the United States, and pretty much this whole middle of the eastern part of the country, is going to be under quite a big winter storm. So first, when you don't forget about pipes bursting. So when the temperature starts going, significantly below freezing, you need to open your cabinets inside the house so that the heat of the house can get near the pipes. And you need to let the pipes, the faucets inside, do a little drizzle, just barely. The pipes outside, you need to disconnect your hose pipe. That's what we call it here. We call it hose pipe. Some people call it a garden hose. We call it the hose pipe. And you're going to take the hose pipe and throw it off to the side and forget about it until spring. And you're not going to drip your water outside. You're going to make sure it's off, but you're going to put something insulating around the spigot, like a towel and then some plastic so that it is sealed and not exposed to the water and the ice. So that'll protect your pipes. As far as being prepared to heat yourself, my friend Lexi actually went to Walmart looking for a kerosene heater. They were out of stock. Her mom was like, they just went out of stock. Keep looking. And she found a beat up box that had just been put back on the shelf from probably customer service that had been returned. So she got the last kerosene heater, and I looked online and it would only get here by the time it's too late. So too late for me. I will be bundled up. I have a lot of candles, and I got extra candles, so I'm hoping candles put out quite a bit of heat. So hopefully we won't be without power, but in case we are, I also got starter logs because I have a fire pit outside, but I have actually the old fire pit that looks aesthetically pleasing. It's kind of like a brick looking, but then I've got another one that's metal that I keep in my shed. So that's good because it's not going to get frozen. You don't, if you need to cook on your fire pit, to get some embers going, you're going to want to make sure that your fire pit's not out in the weather getting frozen. So protect your fire pit, bring it into a shed or garage if you can, So when you're ready to use it for fire, you can just bring it outside. Those starter logs at the store, they claim they burn cleaner than just like firewood, but I don't know about that. But for a week, they'll have to do, right? So they're also like they keep burning. They burn better. So if you don't live near the forest, like I live near the forest, I'm gonna gather firewood and put it under a tarp. But I've got my starter logs that I can heat up food. Going to make a big pot of like beans and rice on Friday, and the smoked sausage, I have put this to the test because I love leftovers. You can eat a pot of beans and rice that has been in the fridge undisturbed using the smoked sausage for a good 8-9 days. I know that's hard to believe, but I have pushed the limits with smoked sausage and I have never even had so much as an upset stomach. So I'm planning on eating on that pot of food. I've got ink all over my hands. That pot, pre-make all my rice, heat it up on the fire if I need to. I have backup sandwich stuff that's like easy to eat cold, does not require cooking. I've got a few bags of kale that's hearty, it doesn't go bad fast, and some blueberries. And so I've been stockpiling like dried beans, rice, and I've got a little peanut butter and stuff like that, ramen noodles and things, and it's like a few months worth. You'd be surprised because I thought I wouldn't be able to squeeze that out in my budget. I'm kind of a poor person, guys. But I have been able, like a bag of dry beans, like a 16 bean soup mix, it all comes together, and that's like $2 or something. So it's more doable than you think to have an emergency food supply. So got that off to the side, but I don't think I'll need it immediately. Now, power-wise to charge my electronics, I love this thing. So I've got this power inverter, and this on the top side is a solar panel. So you can put this outside in the sunlight to charge it. You need sunlight, unfortunately. I don't know how many hours it would take in the cloudy weather. But then you can also charge it by AC to get it ready ahead of time. It's my little green light. And then what's cool about this is that it's got all the outputs, like it's really organized. It's got little places to snap them in, but all of these like charging docks for most electronics. And then it's got some outputs here with most of the common, and it comes with a USB charging cable. You'll need your own wall wart that's sold separately. Hopefully you still have 100 from all your Apple products. So I actually, and this has a flashlight built in, but I don't need to use that because I'm outfitted with flashlights. I've got my flashlights. So this is like $40, and you can order them from like boutiques like Stealth Angel for preppers, or they have them on Amazon. I actually went ahead and ordered a second one today, and it should be arriving Friday before the apocalypse. Second thing is illumination, right? You need to be able to see. So I went to Dollar Store and got a couple of the 18-ounce candles. One will usually burn for about a week if you're like burning them just at nighttime. So I got a couple of those. I got a bunch of the Saint candles, like the long skinny ones, because they're like $2 and they put out quite a bit of heat, and you can, light a bunch of them, and that they kind of heat the space that you're in. I have these lanterns. So I have two of these. I had one already and then I got an extra. And they have these at the Dollar General for like $8.99, I think, but they're LED. And when you pull them up like this, I guess I need to put batteries in it. But I did go get batteries, but it's like very, very bright. I promise it is. Oh, the batteries just aren't, they're included, they're just not plugged in yet. But this puts out quite a lot of light. This is good if you're just handy and in your garage and working on stuff, or I can imagine like if you were getting under a car, this might be helpful because it's like short and it's not very tall. So it's little, it's compact, so you can take it with you, around the house, hang it maybe from a string if you needed to on your neck if you're doing something. Headlamp is always great. And then this baby, I'm really loving this baby. This is the Defiant. Defiant. I'm defiant in my prepping. This is a 1,000 lumen lantern, and this one is quite bright. Look at this, guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's like a lighthouse. You can't even look straight at it. I'll have to put some diffusion around it. I'll have to like make it more moody. But I have 2 of these. They were like $20. I wish that they had an AC rechargeable thing so you could choose the way that you powered this. But it does take 6 AA batteries. So I'm wondering if they have rechargeable AAs. I feel like they did for a minute. I don't know if they were ever very like effective. If they still have them, I don't know, but maybe I can find some eventually for more long-term survival. And then, so where are we? We've gotten light, we've gotten electronics, fire. So I did order this like metal match. You can get like a little pack of 2. And I tried to get them off of Instagram, but that link sent me to nowhere. And then some man had a big boner in the video. It was so weird. It was like, I guess to make it go viral. And it wasn't exposed, but it was in jeans, and it just was so gross. He's just like holding it right next to him. I'm like, you're a pervert. Get that thing out of my face. So I ordered mine from Amazon from another pervert. And so this is the metal match. It's like on a carabiner, so you can put it on your belt loop for fashion and look tough. You have a keychain, and then also there's a bottle opener over here. But basically this match, you just undo it here, and then it's got like this flint striker with some like fluffy here that you put like kerosene on, and then you strike it against the flint strip. And I don't have any kerosene on it. So usually though, if it were soaked in the oil, it would just light, and you would have to put it back in the tube for it to extinguish. So that's cool. I've got 2 of these. And let's see. Oh, and I have those. I mean, obviously I just have a grill lighter, but this is just in case of absolute like fallout, you know. I bought a set of 2 flint striker like rods that came in a little box. Those were nice. And then I have some of those small, they're like a tube about this size and like this long, but they're portable water filters that can like, I think they can do like 1,200 gallons or something like that. I can't remember exactly. It's like, it's a large amount of water. But they'll last quite a while. And I got a 5-pack of those. I don't think that I'll need them for this event, but just in case for the future. And then also in case for the future, but also it's going to come in handy this time around if the power goes out, because the water sometimes is affected when it freezes, the power goes out. So I have a 50-gallon rain barrel that I ordered from Home Depot. And I want to say, I know that we're in boycotts and I'm trying to avoid using a lot of these big box stores, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm just a girl trying to survive. So do what I can. I love Ace Hardware, Elder's Ace Hardware. I'm like up in that store like all the time. I love it. So that's a good alternative. And I think they're local to Tennessee. But anyway, enough about that. I ordered, if you order the 50-gallon rain barrel from Home Depot, they don't have it in store, but the trick that I would suggest is to go on the website to your local location, like pick your store, the one that's closest to your house. And if you order it there, it'll give you the option to have it delivered for free to the store. Or if you're within a certain amount of miles from that store location, they'll deliver it for free to your house. So I just ordered this big rain barrel and it came and I didn't have to pay for the shipping. I mean, this box showed up and it's huge. Like I thought it was just gonna be like a small barrel. I mean, it's big. Like I was like kind of struggling, like dragging it into the door. So I am going to, y'all, I'm gonna set it up in my kitchen for the storm, and I'm going to fill it with my hose just in case. And then once all this blows over, I guess I'll probably have to drain it to be able to move it outside. But yeah, then I'll move it outside and it'll be like, I'll use it for gardening until I need it to survive. Hopefully I never will, but it'll save me money in the summertime for gardening. So I'm really happy and proud of myself, because when I was growing up, I was like the art kid in dance class, and my family were all very survivally and tough and handy, and they just sort of like infantilized me as if I wasn't very good at doing things. And then I grew up and then I became a grip and electrician on film crews. And so I learned my way around some tools and some ladders and some rigging and some ingenuitive engineering. And that they were like, they never got to see me in action, but I still don't, like, they couldn't quite conceptualize it. They always thought, wow, it's so crazy seeing you do all this or imagining you do all that. And to think that I am here by myself and I am ready to survive and I did my best. I'm proud, and I think a lot of my compans, my comrades at work, they kind of look to me as the person that they would want to start the commune, because they know that I'm very resourceful and sturdy and industrious. So those are my suggestions if you guys are facing winter storms right now and you're looking at maybe having the power go out. And I would just go ahead and get a full tank of gas. And even though you're not going to necessarily drive your car anywhere, you never know if you needed to get in it for the heat, right? And charge all of your electronics fully, and any kind of backup batteries that you can, just go ahead and preemptively do that. Just assume that it could take a long time, and maybe it won't, and maybe everything will be fine and we'll all just be playing in the snow. Hopefully that is the case, but we don't know, do we? So that's why I like to keep a stocked freezer most of the year. And the thing about the power going out in the winter is that your food's safe. All you got to do is throw it in your cooler and put it outside, hoping that no one comes and takes it. But I don't think that people are like the way that they say that we are when, people are strained for resources, because I haven't heard of not one single person robbing another person in Gaza when they are struggling to survive. So I think people are kinder and more resilient, respectful than we give us credit for. Sometimes. Other times we're not. But when it really matters, I guess we do okay sometimes, part of the time. But I hope that everybody can pull through this. I hope everybody can prepare themselves. Smoked and cured meats are great. Canned, meats, things like that don't necessarily require electricity if you're not prepared to try to cook over a campfire. Just think about things that don't require heat or power. I'm trying to think of anything else I would suggest being ready for. Obviously, if you're about to start your period, go get your tampons and all that. We don't want to just be free bleeding. Candles, warmth, just think about your elements. Like I said before, I think in a recent video, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit. Have your Bible, have your Zohar, have your Torah, have your whatever you like to read to connect to the Creator. And I think that's about it. So I hope that y'all can find anything you need tomorrow. If you haven't already been looking, go early, because the stores, I think, are restocking in the mornings. I think Aldi might restock daily. The other stores maybe not so often. Salt for your sidewalks. Do the windshield wiper thing that you do to stick them out so that they're not against the windshield. Make sure your windshield wiper blades are like that. If you don't have, if you can't find salt, I couldn't find salt today, I'm hoping that someone restocks by tomorrow. But if I don't find salt, I'm going to take my garden boxes, the planters, and I'm going to put them on the steps on my front porch so that blocks the snowfall and the ice from landing on the pavement. That way, once the precipitation is over, I can move them out of the way and like walk down the stairs. If you have a tarp that you can throw over the stairs, that might help, because then you can just like pull it off and they'll be clear. I know I'm going to have to use my back stairs and my front stairs to get in and out of the house. So I'm going to be doing, using the fire pit. And let's see, salt the sidewalks and stairs if you can. If not, maybe cover them with a tarp. If all is too late, everything's already icy, then maybe you can put a towel down and step on the towel, but do a test and make sure that the towel gives you some grip. Maybe even throw some snow down on top of the ice, because that gives you a little friction. But I don't want anybody falling or hurting themselves, especially if you're older. I think that's about it. I think that is everything. Candles, drip your water, bundle your spigot outside. Don't drip that water. Disconnect your hose. I think that's all we can do. We do our best, right? Hand crank ham radio. Get your aluminum helmets and all that. All right, y'all. Well, we'll be back tomorrow before the winter storm, but I didn't have time to do our reading today, but I did want to just pop on here and just shoot the breeze and give you some maybe helpful suggestions on how you can prepare for, emergency survival with power out, or like disaster, weather related, EMP. We just had that big solar storm, which, by the way, I used to be really scared of these EMPs, but we just had like one of the highest solar storms that we could have, and they were like, it's gonna basically affect the North and South Pole, maybe confuse some flights. We're gonna have some northern lights. So I'm like, is this actually the threat that we thought? I guess we should just be prepared anyway. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just paranoid. All right, peace, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for our weekly romance oracle message. Ciao.